The All Smiling Faces podcast is now sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode. Hello everybody, welcome back to the All Smiling Faces podcast on the GallowgateShots YouTube channel, and it is the last one before Christmas, and I'm going to let all the members know now there is going to be a Christmas special with us four lads coming in the next couple of days as well, so if you're not a member, sign up to that. I'm going to, as always, start with a game that's just gone by, which is a 2-2 draw versus Chelsea. A game of two halves sums that up perfectly. A game where Newcastle United in the first 45 minutes are outstanding. Probably the best I've seen us play for a long, long time. Second half comes around and we gift wrap that and send Chelsea home with a Christmas present. Thanks to the referee as well, which we will get onto in a bit more detail.
It was very on time period there, wasn't it? With you wrapping up Christmas gifts, wasn't it?
It was. But Mark, summarise that game of football as best as you can.
Well, I mean, you've definitely done the cliche, haven't you, with a game of two halves? Because it was absolutely that. Yeah, we were brilliant in the first half. I think everything that we've enjoyed over the years with of Eddie Howe's style of football, it seemed to be back for that 47, 48 minutes of the first half. You always expected in the second half to Chelsea to come out and get at you. There's a lot of talking points in there as well. But yeah, I think probably on the balance of things of the two halves, a 2-2 draw is probably right. But I think there's some big moments in that game that can change the outcome of that game.
There's certain moments that we'll pick up throughout this recording. But to go to you, Decker, it was just typical Newcastle of this season, wasn't it? That second half.
It was, wasn't it? I mean, the first half was just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Everything that I've complained about, we were in that half. And I mean, Gordon, goodness me, how good was Gordon?
He was on fire. First 45,
I was on the night time I went out, and everyone was saying, "Why doesn't he play every week?" I'm saying, "Well, first of all, you can't play every week. You can't play that well every week. Like you would be playing for Real Madrid now if you play.
I mean, more than once every 9 months would be nice, wouldn't it?
I think what was mad is it like there's two ways, isn't there? One is the effort levels were through the roof for him as well, but everything he did was also really, really good on the ball. I think you can sometimes maybe look at it and think you can't always be that good on the ball, for example, but his work rate and that sort of tenacity and that effort should always be there, which I've questioned a lot. Whereas on this particular half of football, both sides of that were there. Like, he was just immense.
But something which I noticed as well, about Gordon, is something which we've criticised Gordon for quite a lot recently, where when a challenge goes in, he rolls around on the floor quite a lot. He got smashed a fair few times and he was straight back up.
What about the game?
He was unbelievable. Like, honestly, he was absolutely unbelievable. It's arguably one of the best performances in a black and white shirt for me. That's how good he was that first half. Like, he was immense. And then, and I know we're going to get touched on penalty opportunities and all this type of stuff we should have had, but we actually could have just won that game outright. The amount of chances that we created. Voldemort, I mean, my word, misses the easiest one in the lot. But well, actually, the first one was easy. But he misses a one for a hat trick, which would have put with 3-0 up. And I always had this fear, right? And I said it at the time was, feel like we need a third goal because, to Mark's point, Chelsea are not going to be as bad the second half. We never be able to keep this up for 90 minutes. And you just always thought, if them get a one back, you have them nervousness. And now there's a negative to look at that. I was sitting there going, we need a third goal. Now, if you're telling me we need to score 3 goals before we're in big trouble. Like, if I feel that way, there's a problem. But not trying to take anything away from them, they were outstanding. Certainly the first half, unbelievable.
I think going into the game, Bessie, I think if somebody had said 2-2, you'd be like, fair enough. It's Chelsea at the end of the day. But once again, it seems like the manner that it's ended. It's another 2 points that are being thrown away.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I would have I don't know if I would have taken a draw before the game. It's a funny one because our form's been so up and down, but we've been getting results in that time, even with the kind of dodgy performances. The same again with Fulham midweek last week, where we weren't brilliant but got the late Lewis Miley header. I don't agree that it was a fair reflection. That I thought we were the better team. I thought in the second half we were good going forward for the most part. They just played through us so well. Time and time again, they'll just cut through one pass, which we've seen at Burnley away Brighton away this season happened quite a bit for their Danny Welbeck's goals. A few times this season we've been just kind of, it's like the midfield hasn't been there. And Caicedo got control of the ball in the second half far more. But they've basically had our chances. Like Barnes had the one at the back post. That was some lovely work down the right by, I'm going to say Elanga because he was involved in it, even though,
It was a good pass, actually. He makes someone for the pass.
Yeah.
It was a good pass.
We did have our chances in the second half as well. We just couldn't put it away. But like Decker's right, the chances in the first half, Gordon put one over and he was completely free in the area, about 12 yards out. Yeah. When they might have brought it back for a check because I've not seen it since.
So when Palmer was on the deck,
there was someone on the deck.
The keeper tipped it over, but it was straight down.
It was, yeah. He should be doing better than that. Like, definitely. You've got the whole goal.
Nothing wrong with that Palmer one. Like when he's lined
that one, that chance when Gordon will take it down his rolling bottom corner. He should be able to do that. Player of that caliber. And I don't want to sit here and kind of seem like criticising Gordon because I love Anthony-Gordon. I thought he was excellent in the first half on Saturday as well. But yeah, it was. It's just that the same thing where you worry that there's going to be a sting in the tail. And I know the equaliser was with quite a bit of time left. It felt at the time more likely that they would get a third than we would for a little bit. But I still think we were a better team of the two. That said, how many times did Garnacho blazer over the top from the corner of the box? It seemed like every 5 minutes that was happening. Ramsdale didn't really have to make him. He made one really good save, I seem to recall. What did he?
He did. And that's why I want to pick you up, Chris, on what you said. Thrown it away. I don't think we necessarily thrown it away. Obviously, we did lose the lead, but I think obviously the first goal comes from a very good free kick. I'm dubious about it being a free kick in the first place because it was quite soft. But
if that's a free kick, then we've got 5 penalties.
I have absolutely zero doubt that we'll get onto that conversation. But yeah, very, very soft to give the free kick. He takes the free kick very well, but I'm sure we'll have more to say about this as well. And then the second goal that you've mentioned there, it's a slip.
Yeah,
in any other game, any day of the week, he picks that up.
I'm sorry to do this, but can I just cover the second goal? Because I'm so annoyed about the second goal. What the fuck is Gordon doing on that second goal? So first of all, we have the ball, right? Gordon's trotting. He does this a lot where we'll play the ball out wide and he'll just trot with the ball, and everyone's saying, oh, here we go, he's going to start getting. He just trots with the ball for ages, doing a bit of a 1-2. He plays the worst cross I've ever seen in football history.
He tries to do it the outside of his foot, doesn't he?
It was the most laziest. There's no one in the middle. I don't know what you're doing, right? And you're telling me we're 2-1 up in a game, where we're up against it because they've just scored now, can I say? And somehow he's 1-on-1, almost. Is Pedro and Chow? How is that? How was so gung-ho? And one long ball, he's not in. He had to do very well, Pedro. I'm not saying, and I know Chow slips. There is no way we should be 2-1 up and having everyone up the field.
If you noticed that moment of the game, Hall and Gordon start having a bit of an argument between each other as well because Hall isn't happy.
No, but he's not
because there's a player right next to him screaming for that ball, and Gordon just half-arses it.
It was really it was a half-arse, stupid cry. It was horrific. It was absolutely horrendous.
And I think they both realised, look up and go, shit.
Yeah. And then one long ball, he's 1-on-1. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's just nonsense all over the field.
I think Fabian was right. Like, Fabian was just beyond as well. But he does anyway.
Yeah.
But there's just, before we start slating certain things, I want to look at some
There it
positives.
is. There's the marker in the sand.
I want to look at some positives, first of all, right? Somebody that's surprised me to unbelievably is Lewis Miley at right back. He read that there was once that he got it wrong. Yeah. The rest of the game, intercepting balls left, right, and centre. Thank you very much. Away and just on the front foot again.
Brilliant.
Unbelievable.
All the way through,
when he played there against Fulham, because he's still in there before. Like it was a few weeks ago, I think.
It was like 15 minutes.
That's right. Yeah. And so you're like, okay, right. They've obviously had to throw him in there. Then he played there against Fulham, and I thought, well, you might possibly get away from. No disrespect, Mark. He hates when I do this, but you're playing Fulham, and we might get away with it. Now, when I had seen the team sheet, a lot of people were saying Murphy's here. No. He's going to play Miley there again, and I thought, this is a real notch up in opposition. And also, I worry a little bit about his pace, a little bit, because I think he's not exactly the quickest in the world. But when you're quick upstairs, like that's what counts sometimes. And like, honest to God, he was immense on Saturday.
He had
The amount-
Garnacho in his pocket.
He dealt with
the entire
him
game,
brilliantly in the first half in particular. Yeah, he did.
unbelievable, wasn't it? Like just shutting him out to play, making him go down the line. Just read everything. But
Aye.
also, I just absolutely love how calm he is on the ball.
He was
Like-
defending without having to make a challenge.
Well, they were calling him Maldini, and even they did on the commentary, and it was that kind of S stuff where he's ushering people out of play. He's just timing the right things at the right time.
Yeah,
and
he was.
it's just honestly absolutely immense, unbelievable. And I'm not campaigning for there to be forever because I want Tino back in the team, of course. But my God, like to just think that you kind of have a player there that we would have never sat around here at the summer going, oh, don't worry, Miley can fill in there. We'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, but it can happen, you know.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? Like,
I mean, we're going to have to get used to it because he's going to be there for a good few weeks yet, isn't he?
To the end of the
obviously
year,
we've got
probably. Yeah. Unless if
a
he
bit of
stays fit.
break, but it's well into January before we can even think about Tino coming back into the team. So you'd expect him to be there for a bit of a run.
He linked up- It's been very quiet on him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair, he linked up so well, didn't he, as well with Murphy in
Yeah.
regards to these little 1-2s in the midfield, giving goals down the line. I can't even. I think during the whole game, I kept saying like, "God, class Miley." That was
Unbelievable.
Miley. Like, all the time, saying the same thing every time the ball went down that side.
I thought he was fantastic, like standout performance for him. Like it was probably a position that was where you think similar to you, again, it could be a bad afternoon for him. But
I just thought
prove
Garnacho
me
was just
wrong.
going to run at him for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was just worried that when you've got a player like Garnacho, right, for example, he's very, very hit and miss. But when someone is constantly testing you, it only takes one time.
Yeah, that's
One
right.
time. He might do well, seven out of 8 duels, he might win every one. But that eighth one, he doesn't. And he didn't, you know, and he kept at his task. And I just love how calm he is for his age. I keep saying that all the time. He's just so calm. Nothing seems to fluster him. Like, he's just real unbelievable.
You can
talent,
see
like.
how comfortable he is on the ball as well, because when he is in those corner positions and stuff like that, he's just happy to carry the ball out, like, and take passes in tight situations when when they're closing down the ball and stuff.
And do you
like
think
that,
that's
and
similar
get
to-
out of it?
Similar to the whole situation, as in he's normally a centre midfielder. So when he is getting played in tight positions, it's fine to him.
Yeah.
It's
I think
all
it's-
right.
I
He's
think
used
there's
to it.
something in that,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I was quite surprised by actually how strong he looked on the ball
Yeah.
as well. Like when he was going kind of up against Garnacho.
He's filled out, hasn't he, over the past year or so?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he really
absolutely.
has.
But even in the times that, I mean, obviously he hasn't played a huge amount of games so far, but when we've seen him in the middle, he hasn't really shown that kind of athleticism and strength in there, because he hasn't had to, but particularly playing as a right back where you are much more up against your man, he was really, really strong and on the ball. And like you say, the amount of times he just shepherded Garnacho to the line, to the byline, and just kind of forced them out just by having that presence was brilliant.
it was
He
such a
unreal.
professional performance from him.
Yeah.
It was like he's played that position all his life. That's what it was like. It was like, I am normally a right back. Like, it was just mad.
Yeah.
You're not talking Sunday League level here. You're on top level of football. To play like that was incredible. Like.
Somebody else I want to talk about, Bestie. Somebody that had a bit of a tough time the week before was big Nick Voldemort.
Yeah.
Who comes back to St. James Park, grabs himself a brace. Could have been more,
Mhm.
but it was good that he was straight back, ready to go. Another game at St. James Park,
Yeah.
on the score sheet again, looking as if the week before never really happened.
Well, he had a bit of a rest in against Fulham because
Yes.
Wissa started that one, played the first 70 or so minutes, which is lovely to see as well, that he's kind of able now to do that. But yeah, Baltimore, after the Sunderland game, I had a few messages of few people up in WhatsApp groups saying that he looked like he was just kind of, it was said on here, he wanted the world of the
Oh,
earth
he
to
was
swallow him up
shell
and all that.
shocked, yeah.
And how's he going to respond? And he's responded by scoring 2 against Chelsea, and it could have been more. Yeah, really, really positive, clinical as well. Particularly that second one. I mean, they're both decent finishes, but that second one in particular,
I think it was
it's a good strike. That's finishes. This
3 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
and
without-
I mean, like I said, it should have been 3, but it feels harsh to criticise him when he's put 2 away. Like so, when he's been alive, even for the first one, I mean, it falls from a bit late, but he's still got to put it away. And Gordon does well for the first one as well. As it happens.
In fairness, though, for that first goal, because I initially thought that, but if he's actually going for the near post to try and get on the end of the cross that comes in,
Yeah,
and just doesn't get there, which allows it to come across to Gordon. Obviously, forces the keeper into the save, and then
I hadn't realised I thought Gordon had scored. I hadn't.
We celebrated that, yeah.
we did. Aye.
I hadn't realised it was. I seen it gone in and stuff, and then was only watching Match of the Day on YouTube later on that I saw like, it's been saved, and then Voldemort has put it away.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. I thought it got in the back post.
It was a good save. I mean,
Yeah, it
he doesn't
was.
know
Right?
much about it. He just tries to make himself big, but it was a good save.
That's-
But Gordon did really well because again, he started that move,
Yeah,
and then next thing you know, he's at the back post. Like it was unbelievable how he
Yeah.
ended up where he was.
It feels like they've kind of started to. I think that it's one of those ones where the forward line seems to be working more. Like when we're talking at the start of the season about Voldemort having scored from all of his shots, these first 5-6 shots, whatever it was, he'd scored at every one of them, but it was over like 10 games. Whereas now he's popping up, he's got a couple on Saturday there, and he's getting more involved in the games. I think the team have worked out more how to play with him, and he's working out the division a bit more. Because he gets caught in the ball quite often. Still, he's a bit.
He admitted that himself in the interview that he did at full time with Peter Crouch. He admitted that, saying that there's a big difference between playing in the Bundesliga to what it is in the Premier League. And he says sometimes he doesn't say lazy, but I think he just says something like a bit too relaxed on the ball.
Yeah, no, he says lazy on
Did
the
he say
ball, but I
lazy?
think that's obviously his
A bit of a
second
translation
language kind
yeah.
of thing. But yeah,
He had a really good chance, not just the one that he should have scored. There was one where someone passed him the ball in the box and he took a touch. I
Yeah.
mean, he's in you now, but instead of the touch going towards the goal, the touch kind of just stays with, and then Caicedo just comes straight back in. I'm like, oh, it was such a good chance that But the good thing is it's nice to see that he's getting chances.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now you've only got to go back the week before. He didn't get a sniff, except one he scored in his own goal. So it's not. I haven't completed this transition, if you like, but I thought Saturday's performance overall was really promising. I thought players were around him more
as well. Was early crosses into the box. We've been screaming for it all season with Voldemort, and it just hasn't happened. And there was a couple of times at the weekend there where just like so Murphy going just looking up, ball straight in the box.
Well, the goal comes from across. Murphy crosses a Gordon. The one Bonds definitely should have scored from is again across. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we are. That's our style. We don't really play balls through the middle. If I'm being truthful with you, it is get the ball out wide and get the ball in the box. It's what we are. And it's when it frustrates us when I see crosses not going in. And that's why Murphy's pivotal, really, if I'm honest. Murphy is pivotal.
Murphy's crossing is a lot.
It's pivotal.
It's really good. It is. Not perfect, but yeah, it is good.
puts it in that corridor of uncertainty.
Indeed, he does. Yes.
But what I was impressed with Big Nick at the weekend was I thought he was much more on the front foot. So as much as he was still coming and getting involved in the play, he was very much then straight away on his toes and trying to get forward, where we probably haven't seen that as much so far in his career. He definitely did a lot more of that at the weekend and found himself in those advanced positions. Like we say, for the first one, he could have easily have, another inch or two, and he's getting a little touch on at the front post. Not that it mattered in the grand scheme of things because he scores anyway.
I told you on him, B.
Well, I say if he was the size of Dan Burn, that might have just been enough. But yeah, I thought he was a lot more keen to get into the box than what we're seeing. And again, in the interview with Crouchy that you said, he made reference to how the speed and intensity of the game, and that even he was kind of struggling with the pace of the game at that point, because he said he looked up at the scoreboard and was like, wow, there's like 20 minutes gone, and he was like knackered and I think that was telling of the amount of effort that he was putting in those sprints into the box and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll be something that'll be coming with his fitness and his endurance to be able to do that more and more often, and it can only pay dividends for it.
Was it Saturday where Shea had that volley as well?
It was.
That was such a good hit.
He smashed.
And then he decided to hit everything else, and it was lousy in the second half.
Let's not mention the free kick.
Well, that volley in the first half, he caught beautifully.
I thought that was
flying in that.
Yeah, that was in. So we're done with the positives. I'm
No,
going to take it down the negative
I
route.
thought Jacob Ramsey held the ball very well.
Oh, Ramsey, yeah.
Ramsey,
I
I think credit where it's
agree.
due. Ramsey, I think he
2 games
he
running,
did well
I think.
against Fulham as well. I
Yeah.
thought, and I know it's not, he's put on non-grata at the minute, but I thought Willock played well against Fulham as well. And
did you?
yeah, I thought he played.
You're
It's
the one
weird
who
'cause
got
I saw
out.
that in the group, and I'm still watching the game. Everyone was going, "Oh, Willock's doing right." And I looked at the group and thinking, "Am I at the wrong game?" I thought Willock did okay. He held the ball well. He just tidy, nice and tidy on Wednesday.
But you're right. Ramsey was great.
Ramsey, yeah.
Really, really
He
good.
tired though. He should have come off earlier. I thought.
Well, this is when I'm going to get on the negatives. Before I get onto that and in-game management, I'm going to talk a little bit about the referee, because we could have had about 5 penalties.
This is
in
only
that
going to be an
game.
hour long. This is it.
Like an hour long, yeah. And the rest of it's going to be about the referee, because I know referees get a lot of bad press and they get criticism and stuff like that. They get a lot of abuse, right? Which we don't like to see. Some of those decisions Well, in fact, some of those lack of decisions where he
That was
wouldn't
the
even
thing.
call the
Yeah,
game
yeah.
himself was pathetic. He was hiding behind VAR and he was waiting for VAR to make a shit decision. It goes to VAR and VAR, as always, back basically what the referees decided there and then. And I thought it was an absolute disgrace with some of those.
I thought in the first half. Now I've not seen it back since, but should Garnacho have been sent off?
Nah.
No, because I thought it looked at the time, and the referee even lifts the leg up to say that's what you've done. Is when you see Xavi Simons getting sent off for Spurs.
Yeah,
and I think, well, is it that much of a difference?
So
I think it's more intent.
They covered this on Ref Watch today, actually, and the Xavi Simons one is more. It's because he rakes down him,
but he's running.
Whereas
he's running behind him, and it's the action of the.
I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what's happened. He does go down the back of him, but to your point, he's running behind of him. The defender slows. It's one of those where is his foot meant to go?
Yeah,
because it's where he's going. The one obviously with Garnacho, and again they pointed it out on Ref Watch, is he's gone in with a straight leg. He doesn't catch him as much. It's more kind of on the foot. The interesting point is that it's more, and this was from the ex-player who was, what's he called, the really big, massive, tall one. Can't think of his name.
John Carew.
Close. He says this as a professional watching that, you can see that Garnacho's left one in because of the way, and even Dermot Gallagher said, like, it's one of those where the ball's got away from him and he's tried to win the ball back, and that's why he's gone with the straight leg. I think if he does catch him higher up on the leg and does that raking action, without a doubt, it's probably going to be, well, I say without a doubt. I'm not sure I win in that game with the referee that we had, but yeah, I think probably it's harsh. He doesn't really catch him like full on or does that raking movement. It's quite lower down on the foot and not like on the toe, like where you sometimes see them given either. But like Chris, as you say, just the referee was just shocking, and that was for both sides in both halves. Second half, he gave us absolutely nothing. He was just devoid of making any decisions at all during the game, where you could clearly see it, and he lost the game. He absolutely lost the game because there was just so much going on, and it wasn't a dirty game. It was just very bitty, but that was because he wasn't stopping it. But then when he did, he was doing it for stupid reasons.
There was a couple of moments from a referee's point of view where I looked at you, Mark, and I said, he's losing this. And that was early on in the first half. I think you really setting your stall out early doors, Degger, when the referee just entertains players running at him, giving him shit about decisions that he has made. And Chelsea were horrendous for it. Just any challenge. And the big one really comes from, I would probably say, when we decide not to put the ball out of play, when Palmer's down. And the Chelsea players are screaming for that ball to go out of play, but our lads, they don't have to do it. Of course they don't. And we wanted this dark art to come back. We want that shithousery come back. And that's exactly what we got.
In fairness, though, to our team, they did slow the game down and almost
look to
give the referee a choice to make.
They did. Then one of our lads just went the other one. What are you doing?
Yeah,
I thought Chow was going to.
But that's that sportsmanship of like, well, we're not just going to put it out because we don't think we've done anything wrong. If you want to, as the referee, make a decision, then you do that. He didn't, so then that gives you the almost authority.
And then Palmer got up and chased back.
Yeah.
So
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's up to us if we kick it out.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, I will agree. Chelsea are going to kick off.
Yeah, of course not. So the run out with the referees really, and I think it's their goalkeeper gets
Sanchez gets booked.
And after they've had a bit of an argument with the referee, a couple of their players run over to Bruno as the captain, being like, "Why have you not put it out of play? Fuck them!" Like, I'm all for that.
Like I say, he got up and chased back, so there's nothing wrong with him. So if we put it out of play, it's because we've been duped.
Yeah, and he was lying on the floor, looking and laughing.
Yeah,
it's just it's one of those, like, if it's that bad, then the referee will look at it and see that there's something wrong. But he was half sitting up, like looking around. Referee tells them to play on, so they get on with it. It's not our issue.
I'm not. but if you think of the whole time of football, how many times does when the team kicks the ball out of play, that player gets back up anyway?
100%,
Then
yeah,
they give the
yeah,
ball
yeah,
back. I mean,
100%.
that's in the history of football. There's probably been one actual injury where the player hasn't been able to continue on. And listen, it looked like we were going to kick it out. It did, right?
Yeah.
Then I can't remember what it was, but someone in midfield went, no, you're in here. So you give it to him. Then he went out wide. The next thing you know, we're going to score.
I would have loved
Oh,
if
it'd
we
been
had
amazing.
scored from
Yeah,
that.
But it's not
absolutely,
like where we picked up the ball. We were in a dangerous advanced position and going straight at them. We had it across the back four.
I agree, but
in our own half.
I agree, but then the Chelsea players almost start walking towards Palmer to see if he's all right, and we just play it on, which I'm fine with. I'm just saying, like, in the moment. But yes, to your point, then it started to really heat up a bit, I thought. When that happened, that kind of started things. But then there's just so many things. One about the penalty stuff, which we'll get to, well, maybe now. But what annoys is if the referee doesn't say it right, I can forgive that sometimes because it's so quick, the game's fast, etc., etc. But my God, when VAR's there, that's why I was a fan of it coming in originally, because I thought, great, we're going to get the right decisions will happen because you're getting an opportunity to watch it again, and still yet again you're seeing these mistakes happen. I mean, well, first of all, actually, I'll go to the first half. The back heel when Voldemort does a back heel, and then their player, I can't remember what it was, has his hand down.
Yes.
It was
Rhys James.
Was it Rhys
I'm
James?
sure it was Rhys
I
James.
thought it was
wasn't
for Fafana.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, for Fafana.
I thought it was for Fafana. But anyway, like, to me, that's handball. Like, to me, because they're saying that his arms not near his body. If your arm's next to your body, his arm's out here. And I'm just a bit like, I'm surprised that's not like.
I've not seen that back. The only thing I've seen of it back is a picture, like a still image,
right, yeah.
where it looks really bad, but that can be out of context.
What I would say is,
if he's leaning that way anyway, then his arm is going to hang a little bit, so it might be one
his
of those
arm
ones.
didn't start from his side and go out towards the ball.
Yeah,
his hand was there
just
all of the time, so maybe that's why it wasn't given.
And that's
then
why
I'm
looking at it. I think it's. I get what you're saying. It's not a natural position.
Is it
but
for a keeper?
in his movement.
Yeah. I wish Ramsdale had arms that length.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And then, of course, the second one. Now, I think we'll come on to the Barnes one as well, because I think Bestie, you're in a different opinion on that one. The Gordon one, though, I mean.
How that is not a penalty.
I can't believe he's.
But, Chris, in fairness, both of us at the game, watching that real time, thought it wasn't a penalty, and he's gone in shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Albeit strongly.
I can see how as well.
We're looking at that and we're like,
But we also don't have the benefit of looking at that challenge from
100%,
multiple
yeah.
angles, then making the correct decision on the back of that.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily kicking off with the referee for getting that one wrong. I'm basically kicking off with the likes of his team that's supposed to be there to help him make the correct decision. Right? So, yes, if he thinks like what everybody else in the stadium probably thought, it's a fair challenge, shoulder to shoulder, Gordon's probably just been a little bit weak in that moment, then fair enough. It's then up to the VAR team to make the correct call, Bestie. And how that hasn't been awarded as a penalty blew my mind.
I think he can blame the referee. I think the referee's got plenty of time. It's not as if the ball's all of a sudden popped up in front of Gordon. He stood in front of the ball. Gordon, he kind of invites the challenge. He doesn't step in front of the challenge. I forget who it is now. Fafana again, is it? But he does. He doesn't kind of, maybe Caicedo. He doesn't make any effort to get out of the way. He knows it's coming. But the referee can see it. The referee is watching that happen, and by not giving the decision, he's then he's basically delegated the decision to VAR.
He's bottled it.
Yeah,
he's bottled it.
Not too many words.
We'll speak about bottling it again.
Well, when you say bottling it though, used to at real time didn't think it was, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was real time. I'll be honest.
Obviously, the way that we're looking at it, we're looking at it from kind of looking across at the incident, because we're on the diagonal from where it happens. So all we're seeing is him coming across and going in with his shoulder.
We've got to kind of look through the goal to see it.
Yeah.
Whereas the referee is directly behind that, so he can see him coming across and the motion. The bit that gets me, as 100% what you're saying with the VAR, and even just the wording that they use to explain the reason that they're not giving it. He's shielding the ball out. A, he's never in any control of the ball. B, that he makes no attempt to play the ball. Going out of how is it shielding out of play when Gordon's got the ball and running with it?
I disagree there.
I think he's going to.
Gordon hadn't touched the ball.
Yeah, I think Gordon's going to reach it and he'll deliver it at that point. He'll get it in the box.
I agree. This is the only reason why I think it hasn't been given, is Gordon hasn't touched the ball. If Gordon, let's just say he got his toe to it first and he does exactly the same challenge, it's a blatant penalty. But for some reason, because Gordon hasn't touched the ball, they're deeming it that he's just shielding out a play. But we all know how many times has Gordon done it when you can see the player coming and he just gets a toe of it.
He does, yeah. Against West Ham was one, I remember, like a couple of years ago.
If he gets a slightest toe to that ball or a touch, and then that same challenge comes in exactly the same, it's a penalty. And VAR gives it as a penalty.
And this was where I then have it out in mind is, do you think Gordon's reputation perhaps has gone against him a little bit in that moment?
Which you would agree, like maybe the referee at that moment might say that, but VAR can clearly see that again afterwards and say, well, yes, he might have a reputation, but it's still a penalty.
I think Gordon's reputation, they really targeted him in the first 10, 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. And there could have been a couple of their lads booked, a couple more of their lads booked for the trip he was getting, I thought. But Gordon does, again, I'm the same, I'm watching that thinking, well, Gordon's probably gone down a bit. Because at the game, you see it once and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know, that penalty, I thought that one was there. I was surprised that one more than the Reece James one later on, which we're going to talk about in a minute, obviously. But watching it back, I can't fathom how that's not being given.
Nah.
He steps across and
as you see
it's too much. It's a penalty.
It's excessive force.
All the live long day.
It's kind of quite funny when you're looking like social media and obviously that's the clips that's getting posted everywhere from TNT. It was, and it just flooded with Chelsea fans going, "Aye, that's 100% a penalty." That
there's not any really I've seen that said it wasn't. It's very surprising that unanimously all the commentators as well all said that's pen. Like it just is a pen, and it's one of them where that is a foul anywhere else on the field. Just instantly, it's a foul.
Absolutely,
it's a foul. So it just make no difference if it's inside the box or out. If it's a foul, it's a foul. And I 100% was shielding the ball out, but he also 100% wanted to let Gordon know I'm shielding this ball out, and I think you're a prick. That's what he was doing. That's exactly what the guy was doing. But you've got to penalise him for that.
Yeah, we've had a donation, a £2 donation from Wazza. That says it was proper cop out by VAR, which bottled it. Just bottled it.
The excuse as well, because it came up not long after. I think I seen it on Twitter, like shoulder to shoulder, and he's ushering him out of play. And I'm thinking.
But it's not shoulder to shoulder when you see, but in that first clip that you see him take him out at the thigh and hip. That's where he hits him.
Ian's made a great shout in the comments. Ian said, just look at the soft nature of the foul for their free kick.
Well, that's what I mentioned just before, wasn't it? I mean,
it's mad. It's as if that one's 30 yards from goal, so that's just not. There's thresholds. I suppose it's always been like that in football. There's thresholds for what's a penalty and not. But at the end of the day, it's a foul.
But and it came at a really, really key moment because if we get a penalty there,
that 2-1.
It's a 2-1.
If we get it, who takes it?
Gordon takes it. Yeah.
I think Gordon takes it.
No, Baltimore was on before and Gordon took it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's on a hat-trick though, and
I think Gordon still takes that. Which rightly so.
But I mean, that's you've got to VAR is got it, and you can guarantee it'll be Howard Webb will be on there with Michael Owen next week talking about that decision and the VAR recording. It's a shocker.
Well, a few decisions because there's a couple more. We'll go through another one, bestie. So the next one is let's just say the Reece James challenge on Harvey Barnes, I think.
It was Harvey Barnes, yeah.
Where Harvey Barnes, his first touch is bad. It's a bad first touch. I think it's Wissa that puts him through, isn't it?
Good pass on.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Good run as well by Barnes.
I didn't necessarily think it was a bad touch. He just took too long.
That's what it was. He was a bit ponderous, I thought,
So, Reece James flies out of nowhere with speed.
Yeah.
And even in St. James Park at that moment, I looked at you, Mark, and I went, he hasn't even got that ball. Like, we could see, he's not touched that there from where we were. What were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a brilliant tackle at the time.
At the time, right?
At the time, I thought it was a superb challenge. I thought he won the ball nice. It's what you want to see. And Reece James played really well Saturday. Took his free kick well and all that. Obviously, we'll talk about that a bit later on as well. But I thought he was excellent and he kind of showed why he's so well regarded. I thought he was in the middle of the park quite a bit, doing well at right back. And I thought that was a really well timed, at first, again, caveat, I thought it was a really well timed, powerful, kind of strong, good challenge. And then it might not even be on Saturday night. It might be Sunday morning when I saw it. He's not touched the ball there. Yeah. And that's again another Stonewall penalty. I've seen in our group it's been kind of I don't think that's a pen there because Barnes took too long. With all due respect, that's absolute fucking codswallop.
Yeah, I mean, you can criticise Barnes for not getting a shot off or scoring the chance, but if he gets clattered in the back, it doesn't matter if he takes a day. If he takes a day, I don't care really.
James doesn't play the ball at all. Yeah, and again, it's one where I've mentioned Ramsdale, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I think when you give someone the benefit of the doubt all the time, you've got to look at that and go well, there's something wrong here. And that was the thing with VAR and the referee on Saturday, where we've talked about the few decisions where you go Garnacho probably shouldn't have been sent off, The handball probably wasn't handball, but when you've got 5 or 6 decisions, all of which have gone the same way, you think like, something's not right here. And I'm not saying it's like some sort of subterfuge out like that, but it's poor.
Did that one didn't get checked? Did it get checked?
Yeah, got checked.
It all gets
Got
checked.
checked,
Yeah, it all gets checked.
I thought that was the least out of the 3, but I take Bessie's point, but I just think that was the least, in my opinion.
Mark, thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I mean it's you can look at it either way. It's difficult to see where there's a touch in there when you've seen any of the replays. So for them to be able to categorically state he's played the ball is difficult.
When they took 3.5 minutes to give Baltimore a second goal. And then
is it automated offside was off?
Apparently so. Darryl was saying that, yeah.
Somebody forgot to put the button on it.
The semi-automated
It's mad
offside
that
wasn't
remember
on.
Villa a couple of years ago when they would have gone down, wouldn't they?
That's how it took so long, obviously. Is
that what it was?
Because obviously, bless no offense to the guy sitting there, not my job, I'm going to have to do it.
Yeah.
And then they went, it's not on, mate. Get your lines out. He's like, shit, you had the ruler on the screen, that one. It's one of
I thought it was a penalty, that Bonds one, like 100%. And now looking back, I'm looking at the replays again. And it was TNT, I think it was Ali McCoy's, and I love Ali McCoy's. And they're constantly going, oh, what a great challenge, blah, blah, blah. You have got the replays right here. Like, even looking back at it, like, how can you still go? Like, at no point did they ever question it.
No, I thought it was good defending at the time, I have to say. Like,
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
At the time, yeah, 100%. Like, but
certainly a foul, that one.
Yeah. What else?
So that's
happened?
3. Well, the handball, I think a lot of people don't think it was, but there's technically 3 there that could have
was
been.
The pullback at the end of the
dying minute of the game.
Last minute of the game.
Newcastle are on the break.
Shocking.
I
actually think that's the worst.
Wow.
I haven't seen it again. I think it looks a little bit soft.
I'm on the fence still with it. I think it's probably one of those, if the referee calls it, doesn't get overturned, they just stick with what the referee decided.
It wouldn't have made any difference in any life.
No, it wouldn't.
I've seen so many people talking about it on Saturday night. I was like, what difference would it have made?
Well, outside the box, it would have been a red card.
Yeah,
red card and a free kick.
It's a red card. You get one last chance.
Kick.
Really. One last chance. That's what it is.
Well, I would have given it a share anyway. You would have.
I think it's just when you've got the accumulation of other things, that's the kind of cherry on top of it. I'm the same at the time. I was at the end of the game. I'm like, well, I can't believe he's not given that. But when you're at the game and you've seen these decisions go against you, you do get that kind of in your head. You're like, oh, I can't believe this is.
But you could physically see him pulling. You could see his arm go out, grab his arm.
What I will say, for all I've said, it's soft. I've only seen it once since I had a decent little drink on Saturday as well. So my judgment might not be perfect. But like you see those given all the time. The pulling. I forget who it was for us. It might be against Fulham. Someone's pulled back and straight away. So that's it. Or maybe Sunderland even. Someone's been pulled back and it's like, well, it's a penalty. It's whatever. So as soon as you're pulling back, to Mark's point, I think you're right. You've got to give it, and if he has pulled him, then it's a red card and free kick.
Yeah, a bit soft for me.
Shall we get on to the first goal that we conceded?
Please do.
Free kick.
The free kick.
Oh yes, that was a fella, right?
When that free kick gets awarded, we look at each other, Mark, and go, it's a dangerous area.
I fancied it to score straight away as well.
I said, even when he's standing over the ball, I went, this is in. You could just see, we have the perfect view of it from where it is. The ball's more or less central, ever so slightly left to the centre. The wall, but the wall was weird. The wall
shouldn't have a wall, Decker, should they?
And that's why I'm here.
I was hoping that was the moment we didn't have a wall.
The wall literally was like a 45-degree angle. The wall, it went from one extreme to the other and went down, but you have to then look at the positioning of the wall, your goalkeeper, and because as soon as you see the two players are standing over the wall, over the ball, where Ramsdale positions himself, you've got 2/3 of a goal to aim at from a very, very central position.
Degger,
far enough out as well.
Tell us about it, Degger.
I've said this a few weeks ago, and I'm going to have to ring Howard and have a word here. But listen, he was miles out. He was 30 yards, right? 28 to 30 yards out, right? He's a fair distance out.
It's far enough out that you can get the ball over the wall pretty handily,
Easily.
I'm telling you now.
I mean, it would have helped if Bruno had jumped.
I agree with you there. I was going to say that. You don't make a wall. Ramsdale stands in the centre of his goal, and I'm telling you now, if James does that technique, Ramsdale is laughing at him, smiling, and just takes 2 steps to his right and catches the ball.
Why doesn't he stand in the middle of his goal anyway?
Well, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. So, you're right in what you say. A goalkeeper can make a wall, but still stand, half and half.
Yeah.
But Ramsdale's decided to take the option of, I want to be able to see this ball from the minute it's kicked. But then, if he gets it over the wall, it's pretty much unsavable then, mate, because you'd give yourself... No, also, he's got Pickford arms as well, Ramsdale. I'm concerned because he just looks so damn small in them goals, like, for me. But anyway, he stands so far the other side of the goal, he's got no chance. Once that ball's over the wall, it's in. But I'll say it again, if he doesn't make a wall, he ain't scoring from 30 yards out with that style of a free kick if he's in the front of his goal.
He would take that style of free. He's just going to blast it, isn't he?
All right, and you honestly, this is me, I knew you were going to say this. You honestly think he's going to score from there on a dead ball with his laces?
Why?
You're insane.
He
I'm
could
telling
do
you
it.
now.
It's a funny
Of
one,
course
isn't
he
it?
could. Of course he could.
He could do, but
Christ, so you're telling me Fabian Shaw's free kick, if that wall's not standing there, that doesn't fly in.
Fabian Shaw's is from 20 odd yards, 21 yards out or something, man. This is 30 yards out from the ball's not even rolling. And someone on Saturday night went, "Oh, but I've seen loads of goals from 30 yards out." Of course you have, but the guy's running with the fucking ball. The ball's moving. You are saying it's a dead ball, and you're just wanting him to run. He's not Roberto Carlos, like, and even he wouldn't even fucking score.
Happy Gilmore is.
But it's 30 yards out, and your keeper is standing in the middle of his goal. If he scores with his laces from 30 yards out, all the best. Sign him up. Player of the year. Give him it. But he's not going to. I'm telling you now, they'll not score, man.
I just want to see this moment without a wall.
They're not going to score.
But there's a reason why you never ever see a free kick without a wall.
Well, Reece James, you're giving him a target that he's rehearsed 1 billion times this week. I guarantee after training, 30 of them. Set the wall up, lads. Get the cones out. Run his job.
The difference is a training wall doesn't move.
You give it.
No, Bruno
Guimaraes doesn't move.
But you're giving him what he's been rehearsing. Just no wall, keep on the middle, shoot. Reece James would diarrhea down his leg. He'd be like, "What the fuck? What do I do? Pass." Or if he does shoot, I'm telling you now, man, it's going over the top, or it's going wide, or
I just want
whatever.
I would want it to happen once.
I do think
and
what
I
would
love
happen
for the team to score for it. But
Hey, that's fine.
Put a wall there.
Put a wall there. I do actually think that Chelsea would make a wall, personally. That's what I'm going to try and give you that one. So I think if Newcastle went, no, him in the middle, I think then recently, lads, make a wall. Like, I need the target. Do you know what I mean? It's just stupid from that range. It's daft. It's absolutely daft. Makes no sense to us. And Ramsdale has to do better. And it was the worst time ever to concede, just after half time.
Yeah.
Because you have that horrible feeling, don't you? That because
It gives them the boost.
we threw a lot of points that we haven't. Let's be fair, right? From winning positions.
Oh, how many? 15?
It's 13 now.
13.
That's including them two. So it was 11 at that point. And they've scored so early in the second half, and you think, shit, we're up against it.
Is that just Premier League points?
Oh, that's just Premier League. So
Yeah.
God
Throw-
knows what
throw
it
a
was.
couple in the Champions League as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Marseille.
and it's just that mentality and that worry and everything. You know what I mean? It was a terrible time to concede.
It was, and I feel as if, and about giving people the benefit of the doubt, I feel as if I was so kind of vociferous about how much I don't think Ramsdale's a very good goalkeeper in the summer, that I've got to try and give him the benefit of the doubt and make it fair. But I'm doing it every game. Every game I'm going like, well, maybe he could, maybe he's all right, maybe it's like he should save it. Even with his position, his starting position, he should probably save it.
I think so, yeah.
It's a shame, and I want him to do well. His kicking was really good.
Oh, he's
Like,
he's passing the first.
I've said over the summer and the start of the season, I don't think his kicking's that much better than Pope's. It is. His kicking's excellent as it goes. Like, it's really good. Mind there was a couple of kicks that went, like, I thought, well, Pope gets part.
I know he got away with
one or two where Pope would have straight
He
with
did
him.
one in the midfield that was just immense. Like
The low one, he kept low.
It was just
That's
It was a lovely one. That guy.
One pass again.
yeah,
though.
we're gone.
One pass
Well,
again.
it's two now because you hit that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People were saying to me on Twitter when we were talking about Pope earlier in the season, like, yeah, but his goalkeeper should be saving shots. Like, but Ramsdale isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, mate.
And that's the thing that I've always said about Nick Pope and goalkeepers in general. I want my goalkeeper to do the job of keeping the ball out of the back
First
of
and
the net.
foremost, when you talk about, I mean, Pope, Jordan Pickford's just done a thing in the last few days. I don't know if you've seen it, where he talks about the best goalkeeper for claiming crosses in the league in the world. He says Popey.
Does he?
He gives it Nick Pope eye.
Jesus.
And if Jordan
He's
Pickford,
made from England, innit?
well, no, he gives.
Well, he's a bit thick, Pickford. Like,
Well, no, he's a goalkeeper. He'll be looking at the goalkeepers and going, like, what? And he said Nick Pope. But I don't necessarily agree either. I think there's time to Pope does flat.
I would rather have Pope and goal. I've sat here and said that. I was just saying his passing was good on.
I want my goalkeeper. Same what Mark's saying there. I want my goalkeeper. If first trade, you've got two goalkeepers, so like not like for like, but near enough. The better shot stopper's got to be the one that goes and goal, and everything else comes after that. Even cross claiming, maybe that's more important. Kicking's not. It's important for a goalkeeper these days, but I'd rather have a goalkeeper who. Well, we've got a keeper who can't save, and Ramsdale. Maybe that's a bit harsh.
Can't save.
I'm actually like
He's got the lowest percentage in the league, I think.
I thought Ram.
He's saving fewer than half of the shots that he's had.
Yeah, I would say.
So I saw that stat, and I think that stat can be manipulated quite a lot because I think they put it. I think it was Ross that put something on Twitter and it was comparing it to Pope's.
Yeah.
And Pope's was very high, but he had faced a hell of a lot more shots.
There's a lot of games where
Yeah,
Ramsdale hasn't had anything to do other than put the ball
Put the
in the
ball
goal.
back in it.
That's not a good sign. Like,
Yeah.
but no, I know there's some goals. There's nothing you can do. I understand that. I'm not daft. But I do think that free kick, not even that he hasn't saved. He should have saved it. But his positioning's questionable, right?
yeah,
like there's questionable things.
I think we've
happening
said this a lot about our goalkeepers, about positioning from free kicks. I think we've looked loads of times. I think we've had an argument once where we've actually gone back and looked at the highlights. Went, look, that's where he was
and that
stood.
was
He
with
was
Pope a few
I
times.
think, and Pope Dubravka used to stand all the way to the other side of the goal. Like, I think goalkeepers just do it.
And Caldalo's at the corner flag a few
You're
times.
just putting, if you do that, you're putting all your faith in the wall,
Mm.
or the lack of his ability taking the kick.
Yeah.
So,
Which
so do you
that's
think,
just
just to stick on the goalkeeper situation, because Dasmo's brought it up, and it's something that's been mentioned in our group as well, that we currently have one of our goalkeepers out on loan that is currently ranked top 5 in Europe.
I've seen that as well today.
Is he the fix?
It's weird one, isn't it? Because he couldn't get a game at Forest. They got him out of the team at the first opportunity that they couldn't. Brought in Matt
Sells in,
who, Newcastle fans would have looked at that and think he's one of the top 5 worst keepers we've ever had in the world.
I don't think he's top 5. Like, I'm trying to think. We think of Jack Annick.
He's up there.
Jack Annick, Rob Elliott, Caldalo, I'll put in there as well.
That's
Piss off.
Mike Cooper is 100%.
Mike Cooper, yeah.
Oh,
aye.
he was shite.
Terrible.
He
John
was
Carelsa.
Lionel Perez.
Perez. aye.
Technically,
Do you
he'd be in
think
there.
January is? Do you think January is too soon to look at that?
We'll not be
goalkeeping
buying a
situation?
keeper in
Yeah,
January.
I think it's far too soon. Yeah, there's no chance.
I agree, but I think come the summer, I think you might see we'll flirt with the idea of bringing another goalkeeper in.
Yeah, everyone's on about. There was a lot of talk about Trafford, wasn't it, a few weeks ago and all that? But I'm not convinced.
So quiet
They've
again
said-
either.
I'm sure I seen. Was it Pep said what you on about?
I think he said he's
yeah,
got anywhere.
I do think it's an issue, but I think I'd be a lot more comfortable if Pope was in. I will say that. Ramsdale I even think he could have done better on the second one, and I'm probably being harsh here, but the second one, like, it just, I mean,
He's up against it, isn't
for
he?
all of the world, though, he's going that side for all of the world, like, and his foot, if you watch it back, his foot almost gets stuck on the ground. His foot doesn't even move. And he tries. I'm not saying he doesn't try, but I know people are going to go, "What are you on about? He's one-on-one."
I think Pope sticks his foot out for that.
I think so. Yeah. If you watch it back, Ramsdale.
Is it savable? Is it? I thought.
I mean, savable.
I'm not saying that.
Watch it back.
Because
Watch
it is-
Ramsdale's
it is
left
a-
foot. No,
It is a good finish. It's a good
it is
finish.
amazing. But watch Ramsdale's left leg doesn't move, and I'm thinking, stick your leg out.
It's one of those.
For all of the world, he's going that side. I'm sorry, like he's going that side.
And it's one of those ones where you know what Pope will do because he has got go-go gadget legs the size of them, and he'll just he does do that, doesn't he? He'll just stick his leg out, make it bigger because it'll cover that side of the goal.
I'm shocked at his leg. If you go back and watch his leg doesn't move, and that just surprises me. You know he's going to go that way.
But then again, we're saying if that's Pope, Pope's probably already made the challenge, and he's probably already on the sidelines trying to make the challenge.
I'm not saying Pope saves that by any. I'm just saying in that moment I felt. But the team let him down. I thought in the overall that whole as I've already complained about Gordon's cross. You're 2-1 up and you've got the entire world up front. Apparently, one long ball.
Oh, that's so weak.
Oh, have you seen it back now?
That's the first time I've seen it since I was there.
Yeah, it's not good. Like
That chow slips. That's
I
His foot
doesn't
the
move.
thing. If
that's appalling.
if Chow
I think it's
doesn't
bad.
slip, that goal doesn't happen. It's just
If my auntie had
No, I
it's
know,
one
I
of
know
them,
that, I
isn't
know.
it? It's,
But
it's annoying because
I think we've all sat on here and said that we've been very quick to
Well,
point a finger at a player, which it seems like we're sat here doing. Ramsdale should do for better for that.
No, but
you've got to go back to Chow.
I'm blaming Gordon. I'm blaming Gordon as well.
yeah.
I'm blaming the full team for being as gung ho as they were. Gordon, to start, Mark says this a lot as well. You have to look at how you've lost the ball. Like, we've lost the ball really, really cheaply. The goalkeeper takes one long kick. Now, Pedro, he heads it almost of himself. It's incredible. It really is incredible what Pedro does, to be honest. I thought he was good all game, actually. And it was just so frustrating that we had so many people up. He's one-on-one, Chow slips. And I thought he could have done better personally on the goal than the shot itself, in my opinion. But
I think he should save. He should do better. His left foot should be making himself big instead of just kind of falls over the ball a bit.
he does. It's
But
weird.
on about being gung ho and stuff, we always complain when with one goal lead we sit back.
No,
So if Holders make that run forward and he's sitting back, then we
think
go,
gung ho is
where's the
a bit
ambition? Why
harsh.
we're not trying to put the game in
what
the
I'm
bed,
saying is, what I'm saying though is my opinion. 2-1 up, he shouldn't be one-on-one with Chow. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
That's what I'm going to say.
it's going to bring us to me next topic to go through as well. In-game management. I looked like you, Mark, around about the 55th minute and went, there's a few blown out the horse here. Murphy, he couldn't run at all. I think Voldemort, I was struggling a little bit come the second half as well. And Gordon was struggling as well, that second half. And you could see a mile off the gap between our midfield and defence was getting bigger and bigger. And you're thinking, make the changes because you can see something coming here. Chelsea made the changes. Yeah. They changed their style of play. We didn't.
The cause with loads of bother as well. That between the defence and midfield.
Absolutely no in-game management whatsoever there. Like
I do look at the bench in midfield, though, of what we had available, and do worry about the changes that we could have made.
Well, if you look at the winger situation, you've got players available there. You had Barnes available.
But that's not going to
stop
them playing through the middle
on the
of
bench as well. But you got Wisser on the bench as well. That could have replaced Voldemort. I think Ramsey, yes, he had a great game. But I think if you're going to make a change in the middle,
he had a good game. Not a great game.
I thought he
was good. He wasn't brilliant.
So I think if you're going to make a change in the middle,
you had a great game the other day.
I'm gonna say Willock, but probably because it's probably the most like for like without changing the whole dynamics of that midfield. Joe Linton sat there. Joe Linton's not featured for a little while now.
I mean, that was the one where it just needed, I think, somebody to come in and just take a bit of a grip in midfield. So I did then think, no, is Joe Linton actually fit? Because it seemed the natural choice to make, and he didn't seem to want to do it. He didn't get on either, did he?
I think the fact that Miley's playing at right back, it takes one of those cards away from
100%. Yeah,
of course it does. But there's still options there, and we made the changes when it was too late.
Well, ironically, when we made the changes, we were the better side, I thought then. So we really kicked on and we were excellent again, I thought. It was just that lull of that period where we did need to make, he had to make them changes earlier. Now, with the likes of Gordon and that as well, like, it's physically impossible to be able to put that in for 90 minutes. Yeah. You're almost asking Gordon, give us 90 minutes in an hour. Give us everything you've got that you would for 90 minutes, but in an hour. Yeah. And that's fine, by the way. That's absolutely fine. Because what he did in the first half is ridiculous, really, for the output he did. But it's not just about that, the gap in the midfield. The press was no longer the same, which in the first half was so good. Look at the way Gordon won the ball back for what eventually was the first goal. Like, unfortunately, that was just gone. Because no offense to him, he just didn't
came very close when he was closing the keeper down a fair few times as well.
It's just 100-meter sprints every 5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
You just can't keep that up.
No, you can't. And I thought when it went 2-1, I'm not saying immediately when that free kick goes in, but I was surprised that there was no substitutes, and it went 2-2, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, like, you know, and it was, mind you, it was one-way traffic, can I say at that point? It was just flooding through. So I was surprised that the in-game management wasn't better, like, but I don't want to be too harsh, because I think I was harsh last week, to be honest. So
I think it needs to be better. It has to be. If we're looking at the players in certain moments and seeing that bad decision made there, you have to look at the manager and the coach and stuff as well.
It always comes back to how out.
You've got to criticize these moments, and it was bad management. 100%. There's no way looking around it. Like, if we can say from the stands, we're not Premier League manager, coach and staff here. Like, why can't they not?
It is funny, like, it happens a lot, that doesn't it? Where a lot of fans will be at the game, and some like haven't got a clue, like Mark and that. But I'm joking. But they'll be saying things like that. They won't. They're like, "Oh, well, you need to make a change here," like, it's clear. But they're quite persistent, aren't the managers? Like, Howe's persistent at times, isn't he? You know what I mean? Like Burn left back. No, I'm joking.
I was thinking Howe's thing is that he wants to give the players in the pitch a chance, and for better or worse, I don't think it's. I think it was to the detriment on Saturday. But I think he wants to give players a chance to kind of have another go, you know.
He does do that a lot, doesn't he? We always say he'll give them another chance and etc.
Yeah, he does.
But I did think change. I'm not saying all three of them, by the way, in that moment, but a change to a degree. I did think Murphy was non-existent the second half, and I mean at all. I'm not saying Barnes for him. Alanga, for example, I appreciate low on confidence. Everyone doesn't like him, etc. But
a lot of that though is because Chelsea were coming right on top of it at that point, so that does then take away our ability as a team.
It's a family show, you know,
to be getting forward and attacking us in a way that we had. That's why our press wasn't as effective, because we were under the cosh at times. So of course players aren't going to be at the best in those moments, because they are spending a lot of time going backwards. But I just wasn't sure about, as I say, the changes that you could make in the middle of the park, because it did seem the obvious thing to do. Yeah. But we've seen how poor Willock's been over the last 3 years. I joke.
That's two and a
as I
half.
say, Linton probably isn't.
He struggled
just
this year,
could-
Joe
he
Linton.
cannot be fit because
Even with
for
his
him not to
fitness,
even
though,
get on the pitch, there's something not right.
performance-wise, Joe Linton's
I know,
he's
yeah.
being very sloppy. I think this year, this season, in particular. But yeah, it's one of those ones, isn't it? Where like you said earlier, Mark, like the fact that Miley was already on the pitch. If we've got Livermore starting the game, then I think we'd do see a
Miley would
change
come
from middle
on.
of the park
Yeah, yeah.
earlier on. Yeah,
Would have been straight away, wouldn't it?
hopefully. Yeah, I think
Miley
so.
for Ramsey.
For
Would it
Ramsdale,
be
he wasn't
the
that bad, was he? We can see with Ramsey, I thought did play very well, particularly in the first half, let's say, a bit in the second half as well. But there was a couple of times he looked knackered and he got the ball stuck under his feet once or twice and said, that's time now. Like. But Willock, like I say, Willock over the past 3-4 games maybe that I've seen him in, I'm not worried about him coming on. He's been good enough. He's been nice and tidy.
I was going to say, did you watch the Sunderland game? But
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, yeah. But I mean, it feels harsh to finger Joe Willock to point out Joe Willock in this for the Sunderland game when apparently everyone associated with the club had a nightmare that day. So
I mean, I do think he's been poor for a while. Like personally, I don't know what he does when he comes on.
I think he just needs a run of games. But that's the problem, is he needs a run of games to get the confidence and fitness up. He's not good enough to get a run of games.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he should be starting, but I think there's an option off the bench. If Ramsey's done like an hour, half an hour, Joe Willock for half an hour is fine.
Well, I did think Ramsey didn't do much the second half at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, I thought the first half he was quite tidy. It was tidy, pretty in moments, and
Carries the ball forward well.
yeah, certainly good on the ball. You know, he is technically good on the ball. I'd like to see him get the ball further up the field to really create something. You know, like thread a pass getting up. But he picks the ball up, not saying deep by any stretch, but he's almost a bit like
a lot of the time he started off in hour and a half.
like,
There was one point where he's ran, I forget if this was Chelsea or Fulham actually, but where he's picked the ball up, played it off, and he's ran forward and he's on their back line. I forget who, I think maybe Barnes had the ball, just didn't even see him by the looks of it. But he's there, he's ready, he's picked up position, he's got acres of space, and you think, well, he's got a chance here. And they don't get away, but that might not be in this game.
But it's still better from him than it has been. So that's a positive one.
I think
it's improvement.
Was it not last week I said is not because it's just such a low bar at the moment for Willock?
Sorry, you're on about for Willock. Sorry, I was on about Ramsey. Sorry, I was on about Ramsey.
I'm with you, Ramsey. The last 2 games, he's looking better than he has all season.
I think so.
He's
Yeah,
put a good performance together. Willock had a reasonable game in midweek. I wouldn't go as far as you went with your description.
I don't see Willock as a very good technical player at all. I never have, even when he was good. He's not technically good. However, he's very good at traveling with the ball.
Yeah.
That's what
arriving late in the
that's
box.
what he's good with.
Always
Yeah, like
the
really
big
good.
thing in these games.
But I did think something needed to change in them moments. I just thought we're really up against it here. But when we did make the substitutions, I thought were excellent again. I thought Wissa was good when he came on. I thought Barnes was good. You know, I know he had a few chances, mind you, but
it stretches them, doesn't it, at the back, because it doesn't then allow them to have all of their own way, which they had for a long spells at that time.
I feel as this is becoming a topic every single time we record a podcast. Alanga comes on.
What I have to say, though, the reception that he got when he came on and the subsequent touches, although not all of them were great, I think it was pretty shocking.
oh, was it? Oh.
I didn't hear that at all. I sat right near you.
There was
I didn't pick up
groans, moans.
Yeah, maybe
there was no booze. I was
going to say, like,
we didn't get that far, but
like when he came on the field, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. And yes,
I think that adds to the problem.
I don't think
nothing. Silence.
No, but
slow clap.
I don't think when he gets the ball, you hear groans. It's when he loses the ball, you hear the groans.
I think that's probably about right. I think I'm more sympathetic to Alanga than most of the people are. But I don't think the crowd have quite got it in from him from the moment he steps foot in the pitch just yet.
Ram beg to differ, like
maybe just because
maybe
I'm in amongst the real fans at the back.
Maybe it was more vocal around us, but I mean there was one moment where he breaks forward and he's got 4 or 5 players around him, and he gets smothered out.
No, but he
going
runs
down the right
into them players.
Where else is he going to go?
Look around.
No.
Where else is he going to
Which
go?
one? Is that was he has a shot?
No.
So
Earlier on.
he's breaking.
Is that
He's
run down the right?
He's on the right hand side,
coming towards the Gallowgate, and he's half stopping and half going like.
Yeah, and
Do I
there's
go
a player
past him?
coming
Do I
from
come
behind
back?
him,
Yeah, loses a chip. Yeah, I
and
remember
he's
the
just
one.
running behind.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you need to do something.
I would like to see in that position he's in there. Cucurella's far enough away from that he could knock a ball past Cucurella and get around him.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I agree
When
with
he
that.
does that, what's he going to do? Because there's not a single Newcastle player,
Well, you've got that's not his fault.
even in the half.
Yeah,
That's not his fault.
Aye, that's not his fault. But it's his fault because he then loses the ball and gets tackled and
It
gets
is,
grounded out by 4 or 5 players.
because he runs into them.
Where else is he going to
no,
go?
but
If
he's
he
got
goes
the-
past them,
but
he's
he's got
then
the-
got nobody to
Because he's
pass
got the
to.
ball for so long.
Yeah, he does.
But even
Because
if
he's waiting for somebody to get up and
I think
support.
I could have got on the pitch and caught up to him by the time he lost the ball.
So what do you?
So
su-
why
what are you
couldn't our
suggest-
players do that?
So what are you suggesting for him to do there then? So don't bother taking them on because there's no one there anyway. I don't know what you want him to
Yeah,
do.
and that's the whole point. Is he's stuck in a rock hard place here because
Right, well, push the ball
he's-
down the line and try and win a corner or throw in. That's what you got to do. If there's nobody there to
he's
pass to,
the problem is that he does nothing.
yeah, nothing.
He doesn't. He kind of slows until
But that's because you can't come back because he can't come back on
nah.
himself because there's 2 players behind him. He can't go in field because there's 2 inside.
How
of
many have
him.
they got on the pitch?
I was going to say, where's the rest
So
of
I
the team?
swear to God, there was
Kerry Dixon trapping
4
back
or
and John
5
Bumstead and that.
There was 4
Dennis
or
Wise
5
is on it.
players around
Jimmy
him.
Floyd sprint.
4 or 5 players around him in that moment.
There wasn't, man. There was, listen, there was 2 in front of him, and there was one guy trotting behind him, and he trotted and trotted and trotted, and this guy's getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and the guy from behind took it off him.
That's the thing. Like
In them moments, just push it down the line.
push it. Try and win it. Even if there's
Yeah.
no one there, try and get. If you can't get past Cucurella, just take the ball with your shield. He's stood with the ball. He's facing like towards the goal more. It's like towards us. Where he was like dug out, and he does nothing. And it's I'm like I say I'm Team Elanga. I'm still hopeful. I think it's a lack of confidence that I don't think it's a lack of options necessarily. I think a confident Elanga, if he's had a decent start this season, we've got the fans on side. He goes past Cucurella.
Well, do you know what I think? I agree. I do agree with the confidence thing a little bit, right?
I think it's huge.
No,
it's
I'm
massive.
with you.
Give it a chance.
100%
The only
with
reason why I changed my mind a little bit is if you're not confident, I'm telling you now, if you're not confident, you do not do the run he does off the ball for Ramsdale's throw, and you do not take a shot in that moment. If you're not a confident man, you wouldn't even run. You wouldn't even make the run, man. You'd just be like, fuck that. I'm not
They see
doing
the
it.
runway at the end.
The run he did for Ramsdale was unreal.
Yeah.
And then from the cut inside and then take a shot. I think a confident. If you're not confident, you'd look for a pass till tomorrow, man.
I
Did he
didn't
want to shoot?
mind him taking that. I don't think that. You got
No,
a lot of abuse for that. I think that's fine.
I
mate.
want him to pass it. I'm just trying to reference my point about confidence in that. I don't think a player that's not confident does that run and then attempts a shot. I really don't. I think you'd be looking, shit, I need to pass. I don't even want to make the run because you've got no confidence.
I think we're confident. If he's confident, if he's in good form, I think he passes it. I think he squares it to Barnes or Whistle, whoever was in the middle.
Barnes,
Barnes,
yeah.
Whistle.
Barnes,
yeah.
I think because he hasn't got the confidence, because he hasn't scored a goal yet, because he hasn't really contributed anything in that sense. I think that's why he takes a shot on, because he's that desperate
trying to
do
force
it.
himself and trying to get.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. If he's clicking, if he's making the right decisions, he squares it. But I don't mind him taking a shot on, because if he scores, that's it.
I still truthfully believe that he's the type of player that even if he is like full tilt confidence, like you've cheated on FM 100 on confidence, you're gonna have moments in the game where he'll run out of play, he'll hit how, like there'll be something mental.
He's a winger.
I'm not being
He'll
funny.
hit.
Like there's gonna be, I'm telling you, even when he is on it, like fire, red hot, you're gonna have moments.
Wingers have it, yeah.
He's a winger.
And
That's the
I
thing.
know
Yeah, they're
we
all.
just have to think, even when if he does come good, which I hope he does, right? He's gonna have moments like that.
He put two really good balls in the box on Saturday.
yeah,
neither of which
yeah.
one was high, one was
yeah.
lower, and he's kind of getting it's that thing of, I'm not saying he's got as good a player for him worse at Liverpool, but the worst is his numbers are like appalling. But he's making chances. I think he's top of chances created. He's doing stuff, but because it's not a goal or an assist, it's shite. Now I'll hasten. Langa's kind of not doing that bit either. But he's getting crosses in the box, and that's some good ones. You look at the game against Barca, where I forget who their left back was on the day, but he gets around him a couple of times, puts low balls in the box. Was one thing.
Barnes should have scored.
Barnes or Gordon just chips over the ball pretty much. Yeah. Where he's done his bit there, and Gordon's got it. Oh, he doesn't get an assist for Saturday, does he? But he's all of a sudden he's gone from not scoring at all in like a year at St James's in the Premier League to a couple of goals, a couple of assists, and it's like, oh well, it doesn't take long for those numbers to start adding up. I think Elanga, honestly, think with Elanga, if he's confident, he squares out of Barnes and Whistle and will go 3-2 up, or whatever the score is.
I also think he has got the case of the Obertans a little bit in that, because he's got so much pace.
Yeah.
When he comes in, everyone's attitude in the ground is, oh, happy days. He'll just pull it down the line and beat everyone.
Yeah.
And every time he gets the ball, people think, oh, we'll just take everyone on.
And that's where I'm saying,
and I'm with you on that.
that when he doesn't do it, that there's just a huge
But
overreaction.
in that particular moment, though, that is all you have. The only thing you have is pace anyway. And in that particular moment, the only thing you can do is rely on your pace. And instead, he just trots along and brain dead, really, at times, and then taking off him. The other point, at best, is he's very, very poor at just running into people as if they're going to move out the way for him. He doesn't even knock the ball past people. He's run straight at them, actually into them.
There's one moment, and it was that one where he just runs into the 500 Chelsea players. And there was somebody that sat, there must be a few rows behind us, and somebody went, he's got fuck all between his ears.
I must have told this before, but it was years ago. Remember when it was like Christian Becerris, the Argentine? We got him and Daniel Cozzoni to one of Mick Moldsworth's. I was sitting in the East Stand, 99, 2000, 2001, whatever it was. And someone behind us goes, "Who, you know that Christian Becerris?" They told me, "You know that Becerris? He's either brilliant or he's shite. The rest of the time he's just all right."
Cover your bases there.
But he did, like, then he has another moment where, I mean, I didn't think he meant this, but he passed it and he megged there. He passed it first time and he megged their player, which then went to Bruno, which then the cross came in for Barnes. So there is moments there. There is. It's just strange. It's funny. I mean, you should have never started the derby. Like, I mean, what on earth happened there? I didn't know.
Mental.
But let's hope he comes good, because he is an expensive outlet forward. And it's the area that we keep saying needs to be upgraded. We've said it for many, many years. The right wing's a problem and all the rest of it. Not necessarily a problem, because Murphy has been doing well. And you probably are right, to be fair. Yes, I think he does play with a player that has no confidence. Maybe I didn't say my piece very well there, is in that even with no confidence, he's still trying stuff. Like that run off the ball for Ramsdale was brilliant, you know. That was a hell of a run off the ball. And obviously, just the pace was incrable. You know,
he did it earlier on. Another time when they got booked for pulling him back.
Yeah.
That was on the outside, wasn't it? Yeah.
And that's the coin that gets hurried at me a lot. Is like, yeah, but we're not playing to be strengths. As in that run Ramsdale's throw for that is what Forest would do. They'd soak it up and Langer would just go.
Yes,
and hopefully, hopefully we'll see that to come. You know, but.
Just a couple of other things to mention.
But that is what you just slagged us off, though, because Sanchez did that very thing for the second goal and straight out of them. And
well, there was two players. There was two players back.
Slip, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've had a donation from Woody that says, "Merry Christmas, lads. I was going to put this money on Isaac being a January Player of the Month, but not going to bother now."
Yeah, broken leg.
Maybe 2027.
Looks like
we play them all the January 31st up to play on field.
Do you see the picture of his foot? It's
the
wrong way around.
It's a shame, isn't it?
That's terrible.
See, Bruno Fernandes looks like he's out for the game on Friday as well.
Yeah, hammy.
Of more immediate note.
He pulled up out of nowhere, just pulled up
from one rack to another.
Yeah, and then we've got a few players that are Bremos.
Yeah, Afghan as well. We've got a few, yeah.
But we're away from home, so I've got any chance. Sorry, but
Decker, you've been spotted today. Apparently,
really?
Yes. Have you been in Asda?
I was only out for a few minutes. Yeah,
you were spotted in Asda.
I was in Asda. Yes, doing some last minute bits.
Yeah, so you were spotted. You was going to come say hi, but you
should have.
Better not.
No, I should have.
Stacking the shelves, clean the toilet.
I was I had to go and get some presents, but he might have seen as I was waiting for ages at the bloody, that printer thing for the photos.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting there for some woman printing out 47 before me. I was like, I only want one. I only want one photo. 47, man. I was like, I'll be able to ink by the time it's my turn. But I got it anyway. But yeah, just should have come over and said hello, man.
And I think, like whenever you see those lot, like Bestie, you were spotted somewhere that day as well.
Town Wall before the Fulham game, yes. Craig.
Yeah, somebody, I think the message was on Twitter, I think it was.
Yeah, So quickly said hello, and had a quick little chat about what chances and all that.
Said I recognise that voice from anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was lovely meeting him. A nice fella. It is nice, isn't it? It's nice, kind of.
I met someone
big and famous.
Polar Express.
Big and famous. I think you mean infamous.
Infamous.
No, I didn't.
We've got a nice little level at the minute. What we need to not do is fuck it up by trying to make a film. If we can just keep doing this, we're all right.
Yeah. But yeah, if you ever see what we're about, just come say hi. We'll always have a bit crack with everybody. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night on that one because we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, and I said I was going to call it on 60 minutes, but we've had an extra 10 minutes stoppage time. We're going to record another episode after this one, so if you are a member, you will get that over the next couple of days. It's a Christmas special, which we're doing as well, so I've got a couple of things arranged for it.
Ho, ho, ho.
But yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great Christmas as well. We'll see you.
Die Hard, the Christmas film.
Die Hard is not a Christmas film, but more of that in the next show. We'll see you 2026. It'll be
have a great
Christmas. Next Monday, won't it?
maybe. We'll just figure it out.
hello.
Hello, festive break.
You've got one all through pre-season, and then
What would that be? January the 5th or something? No, sorry, what am I talking about?
29th.
29th, how many?
We'll see.
29th,
You might have one, you might not.
We've got
we'll
Man
see.
U between now and then.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, probably will be. Yeah. So we'll see you before the new
Yeah, Man
year.
United's Friday night.
But yeah, have a good
Before then,
Christmas,
yeah.
everybody. We'll see you next time. See you later.
All the best, everyone.